Welcome back, darlings. In this video I am reviewing a product I would never have bought if it hadn't been in this mystery box, and that is Infinity Wax Spotless Plus, a glass cleaner with SiO2. Okay, so a product I would never have bought, and the reason for that is I just don't see a need for a glass cleaner to have a rain repellent in it. But maybe I'm wrong. So my bias is I don't really like glass coatings and rain repellents. My experience of them previously has been that they seem to smear, they've like lots of tracing behind the wipers when they're on. They don't seem to shift the rain at low speed particularly well, and even at high speed, in the winter, your glass still gets really dirty, so you still need the wipers. That's my personal bias, so I've got that angle on it. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that's really up for discussion. You'll have a preference. If you like glass coatings, then this could be perfectly relevant for you. So that's what I'm going to test. So as you know, I like to test unknown products to me with something that I do know, and that's Nilco. So this is Nilco Nilglass, and if I use a glass cleaner, that's the one I use. And I say if because I often use ONR because it's very, very good and it does most of my needs. Now I'm going to test this two ways, inside and outside, which is a bit of an odd one for me because typically I only ever really use glass cleaners on the inside, like that, because I just wash the glass as part of the wash and dry it, and that seems to be fine. But then one with SiO2 doesn't really seem to have any benefit really of being on the inside. It's more of an outside one. So I'm going to test it two different ways. One on a screen that I've cleaned, so on my Mercedes I'm going to wash the car normally and then put it on afterwards. The other one on the van I'm going to clean the glass with the glass cleaner, which sounds very impressive when I say it. Like, that's obviously what they're for, but I don't use glass cleaners like that normally. I don't clean the outside of glass, of car glass with glass cleaners typically. So that's it. That's my test scenario. See what happens. On this side of the screen, passenger side, in the UK, I'm going to put on the Spotless Plus, and then on the right hand side I'm going to do the Nilco. And the reason for that is I need to make sure I can actually see it. I'm not sure, I've never used this before. I don't want to be sat in a situation where it's all smearing in front of me. Happy to try it over on that side though. So, a couple of spritz. It's a very fine misting spray. It's quite nice. Doesn't smell great, but then not many glass cleaners do. That's right, doesn't seem to be streaking much. Very nice wipe off, very slick. I mean, maybe you would expect that because of its reported protection qualities. So my interest here is on the inside. Will it demist quicker? Anyway, so that was that side. I'm now going to flip over inside. Same cloth, so it's exactly side by side comparison, but on a different side of it. Just going to put a couple of spritz of the Nilco. Okay, other side of the wiping over cloth. And then, oh yeah, this is definitely grabbier. Wow. Do you know what, that is interesting. Because I don't know about you find this, but when I'm wiping off the glass, one of the things is, especially the second wipe off, it's properly grabby, isn't it? And it wasn't on the other side. So if it's clear and clean and just beneficial because of that, that would be a good thing in and of itself, right? That'd be okay. There we go. Yeah, that side's really slick. This side's really grabby. Anyway, cool. Let me just go and get the inspection lamp to see if I can see any hazing or anything. Doesn't look like it from here. Not a particularly sunny day though, so let me just go and grab that.
So I'm doing this to see if there's any real streaking or misty haze, and there isn't. It's the same finish and result you see here on the Spotless Plus side as it is on the Nilco side. So any real hazing there is because I haven't cleaned the outside of the glass in this shot.
That's pretty cool. Right, so the out what I'm going to do on the outside is, for this one, I'm going to wash the outside, and I'm going to do the same thing, but the same side. So the spotless will be over in that, and the Nilco on this side. And on the van, I'm going to do it without washing the glass on the outside, because it's a glass cleaner.
So when doing the outside, I applied directly onto the glass rather than onto the cloth. I felt like I needed more product doing the outside of the glass. I don't really know why. It's maybe just a mental thing. But as you can see, did it consistently on both sides as well, so at least the test was the same. The biggest note for me here was the Nilco was much slower flashing off. But it's still pretty quick, and it doesn't leave any streaks behind. But the spotless glass just disappeared really, really quickly. What I'm supposed to be looking at right now is footage of me applying the Spotless Plus to the outside of the van, but I haven't got any. I've got a couple of pictures, which means I put that GoPro in the wrong setting when I was doing this. So, no footage of me applying it to the inside or the outside of the van, but to let you know the process was the same. Applied on half and half of the screen, buffed off with the second cloth, and let to go about this business. Hopefully that's enough insight. Let's look at some of the results from it. So the morning after I'd applied it, you can clearly see which side has got the Spotless Plus on. It's made really tight beads of the dew that was on the car there. Let's take that and go for a drive in the rain. We're about 70 miles an hour here, and you can clearly see the water is beading off and moving off on one side, and it's not on the other. Now taking that further, I wanted to see how it was going to demist, so I'm over to the van this time, and yeah, maybe it demist a bit quicker on the Spotless Plus side, but you have to counter the fact that I'm sitting on the driver's side, so there's more condensation being produced on my side anyway, because more hot air. What I've noticed here is at 30 mile an hour or so, it's really not shifting the water off the glass, whereas a dedicated glass coating does a lot more at that speed. Something I did note is there is a very slight bit of hazing, and it's on the left hand side, so the Spotless Plus size, and it seems to be consistent. It's kind of in line in this shot with roughly where that bin is, but it doesn't happen in all lighting conditions. You can see it's clearer on the right hand side than it is on the left. It's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. It only happens in very certain conditions. It doesn't seem to be affected by headlights, and I do get the same sort of experience with ONR when I clean the glass with that too.
Okay, verdict time. I still don't think it's for me. That doesn't mean it's a bad product, and this is definitely my bias. I don't like glass coatings. I don't think for me, this isn't the right thing. That said, it is very good at what it sets out to do. So if you're in the market for that sort of thing, I think this is really, really good. It was really clear. Tiny bit of hazing in the sun, not much, no different to ONR for me. I wouldn't say it was detracting from the experience of using this as a glass cleaner. And it was really, really easy to clean with and to drive off and leave a streak-free finish, which is really critical, isn't it, with a glass cleaner? So that is really strong in its favour. And the use case that I can see that's been really useful for me personally is on my crash helmet. So the visor on my motorcycle, rain repellency on that would be great. But at the moment I use Rain-X's plastic one, but if I could just do it as part of the cleaning process, that to me is an absolute winner. So for me personally, that's where I'll be using this. I might even put some of my little visor cap, which is thing that goes on your glove. It's got a bit of glass cleaner in it and a sponge. You wipe the sponge across your visor, and it's got a squeegee built into it. You wipe it across and it clears it off for you. So that's how I'm going to use this. So I am going to use it, and it is good. It's very effective. It's a good glass cleaner. But for me personally, would I buy it again? No, but that's because I don't really like glass coatings. And that's the only reason I wouldn't buy it. So if you're looking for the market for something like this, give it a go, I think. The important thing with any product is price point. So for 500 ml of this, which is this size bottle, it's £12.99. For a litre, it was £25.99, and for 5 litres, it was £50. 1 litre of Nilglass at the moment at B&Q, which is where I get it, is £5.60. So there you go, give you a reference point. And I use O&R most of the time. There you go. Hope that was useful and insightful. Yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.